A very good morning to you. This is an amazing Wednesday. I don't know about you, but we have risen and we are definitely shining. This is K24 This Morning, and my name is Mungalambuvi.
A very good morning to you indeed. Welcome to another amazing session right here on K24. Shiko Kaitani is my name.
My name is Jeff Moto. Of course, welcome to K24 This Morning. As always, we have to go through the big stories of the day. This is what we call the newspaper review. Yesterday, the country and, of course, residents of Kibra, constituency just treated to a shocker.
Yeah.
Seems like Mariga might not be able to vie. That's something that we'll be talking about. IBC saying he's not a registered voter as of now. They say they shall appeal that because it's an administrative issue on the IBC's end. That's going to make further, of course, for the political class as they go through that. But there's plenty more as we go through our newspaper review this morning, a solid hour of that. Today, my panel already in place. Fred Aouda, Kisumu Central MP is there. David Sankok, nominated MP, also joining us. And, of course, Nairobi Speaker, Madam Elachi, Beatrice Karibuni Sana. Welcome, of course. We'll be jumping into the dailies in just a bit to look at all of those stories as they come in. But also, we get interactive right here.
Right. It's going to be half hour of just nothing but what you guys have been sending us in terms of the trending stories that have been happening in the last 24 hours. So if you think there's something we might have missed, kindly share with us at K24 TV across all our social media pages, and of course through 21222. That is our SMS line.
Okay. And then, of course, in the final hour, it's time to jump into our social hour. And this time around, we're actually talking about sex education for children. The big question is, gentlemen, whose job is it? Is it the parents? The teachers.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, that's a discussion that needs to be had right here. And you know, it starts really early.
Yes.
That's the thing. You always say that they learn it later on in school. It starts at home. You need to have that conversation. And
So
of course,
for you, you're definitely
oh
home.
yes, oh yes, home. It has to start from there. The teacher takes over the, the remaining part.
Right.
You start it off.
Yes.
Also, we get up close and personal with a person who has, gone into business to the highest heights. Also a man of the cloth.
Yes.
Reverend Julian Kula stops by and talks about his journey and how he's managed to juggle the two up until this particular point. So the show is absolutely jam-packed. As Mbuvi said, you get us on social media wherever you go at K24 TV. So you get us, you can SMS us on 21222. The SMSs we need right now is traffic situations. That's what gets people in a knot as they're leaving the house in the mornings, and that's where we start.
Okay, as always, this being 6 a.m., not expecting much on our roads. Of course, we do want to give you a heads up on some of the areas that, by the way, could be red spots and, of course, what to avoid. But, of course, it should be good news on our major roads. However, taking a look at Mombasa Road right about now, this particular area, which is the City Cabanas intersection, as always, traffic beginning right at City Cabanas as you pass Imara Daima. Yes, you can see the red line indicating traffic already starting to pick up. But once you actually pass Isuzu East Africa Limited, well, the roads start to open up. And as you can see, it moves from an orange all the way to a green line. And things are looking good, of course, until you get to that Nyayo Stadium roundabout. Kamakawa, we always see a red line at this particular spot, indicating, of course, with the traffic lights and perhaps if we've got traffic policemen controlling traffic at that particular section. So you obviously know traffic is bumper to bumper. Nothing to worry about. Just exercise a little bit of patience and you should be on your way to the CBD. Speaking about Langata Road, looking at it from the areas of the, from Galleria Mall and where the museum is in Langata Cemetery, just moving down. As you can see, it is quite clear. This is a really good time to actually start heading out. For those of you who are coming from Rongai, if you're coming from Karen and you have chosen Langata Road as your option, well, this is a good time to start heading out. As you can see, it is green all the way, even as you pass the bypass over to where Uchumi is, the Carnivore area, down to Wilson. Interestingly enough, right around T-Mall, things are looking good. And let me just move us down to Nyayo Stadium. It actually starts to pick up right around there. So that is all you need to know in regards to Langata Road. We're going to be taking a look at more of your feedback in regards to the situation on the roads. We are going to look at probably 2 or 3 other major roads as the show progresses. But why don't you hit us up on our social media platforms at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Go ahead and send us a tweet pic. We'll be happy to share it. Jeff Mote takes us through the dailies.
And welcome back. Now it's time for us to go through the big stories of the day. This is your news preview, most definitely on K24 This Morning. As always, we start off looking at the front pages of each of the dailies. Starting off with the front page of the People Daily. Uhuru now turns down MP's bid for higher pay. Legislators wanted independently review and determine their salaries, allowances, and other benefits without the input of SRC. A quote from the President: the bill negates the role of the SRC with respect to setting and regularly reviewing the remuneration and benefits of all state officers. That makes the front page of your People Daily. We'll be talking about that. We have two members of Parliament right here to tell us what exactly is going on there. Front page of the Standard: arrests won't stop DP bid, vow 50 MPs. Lawmakers accuse Interior PS Karanja Kibisho of using police to silence Ruto supporters, alleging it is a ploy to force support for Raila. That's the lead story they have on the front page of the Standard. But also a very... I mean, you look at this picture, this is really what we want to see in terms of the future of politics, as you can see right there. As the campaigns were happening in Kibra, the Jubilee truck rolling past there, and an ODM convoy in the same road. And they're laughing and greeting each other right there. And that's what we really want to see when it comes to the spirit of politics and what happens as they campaign. That makes the front page of your Standard. Front page of the Daily Nation: what Mariga red card means for Jubilee and ODM. A house divided. Electoral agency's failure to clear footballer brings to the fore divisions rocking the ruling party, with Kieleweke and Tanga camps going for each other's jugular and giving the rival a walkover. That makes the front page of your Daily Nation. Same headline when you look at the Star. Mariga red card. Officer defied Chebukati order. IBC boss ignored legal advice. Instructed returning officer to clear the Star. A new twist as far as this story is concerned, and that's the angle the Star is taking right there. A returning officer said Mariga was not duly registered as a voter, and as the Star says, defied the Chebukati order right there. And finally, the Business Daily's front page: seized graft assets to be invested in state bonds, luxury cars, homes, and land confiscated from suspects linked to money laundering and corruption will be sold and cash used for social good. That's the lead story that you get in the Business Daily. But now you look at these stories, of course, in each of our dailies as we get into the news preview proper. Once again, my panel in place: Fred Ouda, Kisumu Central MP; David Sankok, nominated MP and Speaker of Nairobi, Beatrice Alachi. Good morning. Morning. Let's start with the front page of the People Daily. Uhuru now turns down MP's bid for higher pay. This is a story that's on page 7, actually. And at a time when we've been talking about public debt, the cost of living, how we need to take austerity measures, our members of the August House, why would you want to increase our foreign travel? Why would you want to increase, at this particular point, any form of increase? As a voter would think, this is an insult. Why are we doing this at this point in time? Mr. Ouda, Honorable Ouda, please explain to us what is going on.
First of all, I have to say it's a pleasure hosting me today.
Thank you so much.
You see, members of Parliament have become a subject of media, or rather fourth estate lynch, because the whole thing, sometimes it is overblown, or rather it is blown out of proportion. Because I think what the MPs were asking, what was contentious was the issue of house allowance. And I think that's what you people have been talking about when you talk about increment by members of Parliament. And I keep asking myself, when somebody comes here and argues and says that MPs are entitled to mortgage, so they're not supposed to get house allowance, then I wonder, mortgage is a loan. It's optional.
Right.
You can take it or leave it. For example, half of the members of Parliament today do not take mortgage. They pay the house rents. Then you want me to travel from my home place in Kisumu to come to Nairobi to live where?
Right.
Because if I don't have a mortgage, which money? And if you look at my pay slip today, it does not reflect anywhere indicate that I'm getting in a house allowance.
Right.
And I'm wondering, we are public or state officers like others.
Right.
Why will a PS get the same, why will the PS be given house allowance and be given 3 vehicles? Why will a CS have 4 vehicles plus house allowance? Why will a president and his deputy who reside in State House and another government house get the house allowance and deny the MPs the same? Lastly, let us agree on one thing, that Kenyan politics is very expensive. We did not create it, you and I, Songok and I. we found it here.
Right.
So we have to agree that you also, as you people lynch the MPs, can you people also take the same swipe on the wider electorate? Mm-hmm. Because in Kenya today, I can tell you for sure, yourself you cannot be elected unless you have money.
But the thing is, what Honorable Ouda, people will say that, okay, fine, we understand that that is the nature of the beast in terms of campaign and elections being expensive, but also no one forced you to get in there. If I see that I don't have the budget to do it, I shall stick as a journalist until when I can.
Now let me tell you one thing. If I don't take the courage to go out there, be rest assured you will not take the same courage to go out there. In short, we will not have members of parliament because whichever way politics in Kenya is expensive, it has to take a courageous man like myself, Songo Kendelach, to go out there and talk to these people and try to convince them with whatever you have for you to get. And if you say today that if I fail, that I don't have the gist to go out there, let me tell you, nobody else will.
Honorable Sankok, I'll bring you in on this as well, because even as we talk about that, some people are looking at it in the sense that it's not only the fact that, as he has said, it's an expensive affair and that state officers are getting these particular allowances, why aren't we getting, but the terms that you probably want to decide for yourself what you get by taking this from the SRC to the Parliamentary Service Commission.
Let me start by saying thank you for hosting me here. Again, let me appreciate the house. It's a new one. I can see it's very beautiful. Yes. I feel more at home.
Yes.
And again, the people of the media, at times you people blow things out of proportion. Because what I see here was just a contest of what is happening with Parliamentary Service Commission and Public Service Commission. These are independent commissions. Why do they have independence of each other? Because the Constitution created them so. So it was just a kind of, I think that is the tussle. The tussle here does not mention house allowance, does not mention, because I was there in the house when the president sent back the bill with reservation that Public Service Commission should oversight Parliamentary Service Commission. And remember, we are supposed to have independent commissions. So we'll still seek legal advice and know if Parliamentary Service Commission is supposed to be an independent commission or not an independent commission. But how you bring about house allowance...
they were talking about domestic and foreign travel allowance, allowances here. That was the key contention.
No, the key contention was only the independence of both commissions. Parliamentary Service Commission and Public Service Commission. But it is now you who have seen that the parliamentarians want to control their own domestic travel. The bill is there. So you can still go and refer to the bill.
Right.
But for me, that was the bond of contention. We still have to seek legal advice. If some commissions are bigger than others, they oversight others, and then we'll know.
Right, we move from there.
But we have no problem.
Okay.
If Parliamentary Service Commission have to oversight, and Public Service Commission have to oversight another commission like Parliamentary Service Commission, we will accept if the Constitution says so.
Right.
Yes.
Because some people are saying that the retaliatory move that was made in terms of reducing funding for SRC that the National Assembly did was because they were trying to tighten all of the perceived loopholes in terms of expenditure. Is any problem that the House has with the SRC?
You see how you people become prophets. In this country, we reduce almost everything. The parliamentary budget had reduced. The money that we had sent to county government. So what did the county government did to us? They wanted 335 billion. We sent 16.5 billion.
And you saw the standoff that was there.
Yes, there was a standoff.
And they're saying it's going to Supreme Court as well.
Why should it be in SRC? Now, we are saying the battle between the independence of independent commission, that is two commission, Parliamentary Service Commission and Public Service Commission. Now you are bringing in the issue of reducing budgets. I don't know where it came about. Now let us talk about the budget that was reduced in Parliament, because we really reduced our budget in Parliament because of the debt that we have as a country, because of the economic downfall that we have as a country. So why are you not talking about 1,000. Why are you not talking about county government?
Okay,
it was
Sankok,
a total standoff, my friend.
Speaker Elachi, of course, Sankok saying that they're the victims right here. They are playing their part, but the media is the one who's blowing this out of proportion. But at times you look at it, and Madam Elachi, they say the numbers don't lie. We can see the controller of budget indicating that National Assembly travel spend grew 1.8 billion shillings in the 9 months to 2018. Out of the travel budget, MP spent 2.2 billion shillings on domestic travel in the first 9 months 2018-2019, compared to 1.1 billion shillings in a similar period in the previous year. So it's the numbers are not saying what the media is reporting, but there it is in black and white. Do we have an expenditure issue, Speaker Elachi?
Well, you know, the biggest challenge you'll face, and that is why Parliament will always have, I wouldn't say its way, but a way of, because within the budget, I think the budget, they had already done the budget, and this money was there. So for us, for now, to come and relook at it, it will be so difficult because it's their budget.
Right.
And the issue, for me, where I have just a small issue which they need to go and relook at it and ask themselves, let them just follow, let them just go to SRC, negotiate this thing with SRC. If they agree with them, then you pass it and you have the bill.
Right.
The issue of house allowance, I won't argue, because then you have to start from the executive coming down. So it's an issue where you need to ask yourself, are you being fair? And I think that is where, even if they go to court, the judges also have house allowance, they have mortgages, and yet they have mortgages that they can pay for many years, depending on how many years you're in office. So some of these things is just sitting down and dialogue. So for me, I'll tell Parliament, some of these things, before they even come so far to the media, just dialogue. Use the right process and get what you want. Go to SRC, negotiate this with facts, because facts are there. That there's no way you are telling us as parliamentarians that here we cannot have house allowance, yet others have house allowance, and we are in the same. Don't use our mortgage, because mortgage, I have to, in fact, as a parliamentarian, he has to pay, he or she will have to pay in 5 years to refund the money back, or less. In fact, less, because 6 months to your election, you must have cleared. So it is something that they have to work on. On this one, it is within their budget. So for me, sometimes the argument will be, how do Parliament come out and help Kenyans the way they are crying on wage bill and all that? Help Kenyans to reduce your own budget and show them we can reduce on travel, we can. It is for them to show that goodwill. That will be much better in the eyes of Kenyans, especially now that Kenyans are feeling we are straining. They've come with Punguza Mzigo, and you can see how they are talking. So it is now Parliament to show that goodwill. That is all I'll really request. But for now, they have to, I don't know what is in the next budget, so we have to see. If they cut, they were able to cut for counties, they were able to cut of SRC, they should prove to Kenyans that in their next budget of 2019-2020, by the time we come to these figures, they will have shown the goodwill of also
reduction in
that they had reduced.
Then a little point of advice. Sometimes when we see our domestic and foreign travels, also see what do we bring in the country. Because sometimes when we travel outside, there is something that we go and negotiate for. There are international instruments that we go and try to rectify, like the road passengers on board aeroplanes. Yesterday we were discussing about rectifying that particular protocol.
So look at the benefit of the travel.
The benefit of the travel, because you only look at the experts.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Honorable Sankok. I will move on to another story that definitely made front and center evening news yesterday. At least we have an MP from the area, the Kisumu Assembly. Rocked into chaos, of course, because of the attempt to oust the Speaker, Onyango Olo, right there. We have a package that we played yesterday. We'll start off from that, set the stage, and get into matters of, honorable members acting dishonorably. Let's start from this. We have some pictures on that. As the pictures are, right there scrolling on your screen, some of the, sights and sounds from what was happening there yesterday. Honorable Ouda, when we shout from the rooftops about, Chapter 6, integrity, all these things we want our leaders to be, but they walk into this space, and it's not only a preserve of the Kisumu Assembly. We've seen it in different county assemblies. This same thing where they go in, fight, and these are the people who you're calling Heshimiwa, they're your leaders. Where does the rain start to beat us? Because I'm sure you've interacted with various members of the Kisumu Assembly as well, Honorable Ouda. What happens once they get in here? Because we do know the reason why they're doing this is because the Speaker, as of now, is is a suspect in a particular corruption case that's going on right now. So when this happens...
Thank you so much. I remember I was a member of County Assembly before, and I think I sat in an assembly for 5 years, and I didn't see any chaos. That was Sia County Assembly. Two, I must say that these are effects of devolution. First of all, we are having governments down there at those low levels, and people never expected this to happen. Number three, we are having people down there. You remember those days, they used to call them councillors.
Right.
Now they are called honorable members of County Assembly. Everyone wants to feel powerful. Number four, we should also agree, this is a fight for resources, because you should know that when you see a County Assembly fighting, then you must also not turn a blind eye and know that the executive is also playing its game. Now, number five, we also have a situation whereby we have these iron fist speakers. I'm not saying all. Like I've always followed the case of Elachi, and I've also followed the case of Onyangolo and those of other assemblies. So we must also know that sometimes the speakers are to blame themselves, because you see, this is a situation whereby people feel you are eating and they are not eating. So with the slightest opportunity, like the one Onyangolo found himself. Remember, Onyangolo is not an executive speaker. It doesn't sign anywhere. So actually, and the law about stepping aside mostly applies to the governors, the deputy president, and whatever. But because people have a reason, and they've found some kind of a reason to hang on to, let me tell you, my friend, they won't hesitate. They will do what they are doing. And lastly, I will condemn with I'll condemn with all my heart that when you are elected to an office like to be a member of County Assembly, that you have been elected to represent people, it's good sometimes to act honorably. So I will not say that two wrongs make a right. So to me, it wasn't a good show, but let us agree. There is a situation of somebody thinking you are eating and they are not eating, and let us also agree that there is a situation whereby the executive also comes into play. And lastly, sometimes these offices of speakers, you need goodwill. Okay,
so let me bring in someone who's actually a speaker for Nairobi County, Madam Alachi. We've seen similar scenes also right here in the county of Nairobi. How do we solve this? Because it can't be a point where nowadays we're not even shocked when we hear a certain county assembly has gone into chaos like this. We are used to this by now. How do we solve this once and for all?
Well, I think there are members, and for me, I think it depends. I don't know what the issue is really with Onyangolo at the moment. I don't know whether it is the case of the mall, Lake Basin, that now they feel aggrieved that he has
some sections wanted him to step aside.
Or what is the real issue for them? Because this is a national government issue where Onyangolo was, I think, the chair at that time. And so I don't know how it comes into play with the Kisumu County issue.
Let me just answer you, Elachi.
Yes.
The whole thing, I've just said something here. This thing has a root cause. I've told you there's executive at play, and there's also another perception that you are eating and you've tied our hands on our backs. So when you get a small reason to cling on to, like the one SRC has with us, then let's do it.
So the eating is the issue?
Well, I don't know. Are they
yeah, let us be factual.
Because
that's there.
The accounting officer is the clerk. And I don't know how the speaker finds himself in issues of money. Because for me, the biggest challenge was very different. I mean, money is an issue.
They feel that he chairs the board.
Or even if I'm the chair of the board, I will be very honest. And I was sometimes very honest to the leadership of Nairobi that you can't sit here and leave your members and you expect you'll be in goodwill. No. You have to think what you're doing is for the welfare of your members. And I think at one point, sometimes you'll find yourself in a lot of conflict, because sometimes if you want to be honest to members, you'll be. I'll be honest to members. I'll tell them, look, this is what we are planning, because it is their budget anyway. And county assemblies are consumers. There's nothing much you say there's development. And that is one thing now you have to ask yourself, so how do you plan? And for me, that is one thing the Senate should relook at, seriously, to show that there's a way we can plan all these things. I remember when we were doing the amendment with WACO, we thought we were resolving the problem in terms of the board. But I realized, no, we have not resolved the problem. It is still there. Members always have this suspicious thing that if you can't tell us what is happening, then indeed you are eating. Right. That's what they will think.
Honorable Sanko, I'll bring in on this
let
as
me
well.
just finalize by saying, it is unfortunate, I know, but also let us, when the public sees this, that is how the anger continues, you know. And I think that is where we have to ask ourselves, do we need Chapter 6 of the Constitution? Do we really need it, or are we jokers on it? Because it plays a very cruel role in terms of you are a member, you know how to, if you have issues, there's a way we can deal with the issues. Right. I know with Nairobi, up to today, I will be very honest, you'll find you're being dragged in many issues, you're even wondering, what the hell is all this? I was even, I will not say who, he wrote an SMS, I was even threatening now my lawyer. He was even saying that even if we come with a full lorry of GSU, that there's no way. Then you ask yourself, are you in Kenya? And you know, people assume that you're not a politician as another politician. You know, when you get this dignity, again, Kenyans wonder, and even your supporters are wondering, what the hell are you doing? You know, by the way, like me, I'm questioned. I'm told, why is it you don't just walk in and do this? You know, when you respect things and law. And then the same people feel, who are you? You know, and that is one thing I look at them and I say, I wish you knew every politician is a politician.
Honorable Sanko,
that you can do evil even if you want to.
And the question is, what I wanted to ask is the same question Honorable Alachi has brought up, in the sense that, do we need this Chapter 6? Because it is there, we all know what it should do, but some of the leaders don't espouse it at all. You see this and you're like, clearly, there's an issue.
It is funny because it actually happened in Kisumu, the stronghold of ODM. And you know, when they did their nomination in Kibera, and there was no chaos. Just a bit.
I want to see where this is going.
Just a bit. When then they did their nomination without chaos, right? I thought, hey, we have changed as a country, and
but
maybe some people have forgotten their culture. But when it came back again, now, okay, what I'm saying, what I'm just saying, you know, those MCAs should have taken a clue from my good friend here, Honorable Outa, who was also a member of the County Assembly. Right. And when there was some problems, he only demonstrated by removing his clothes. So he did not actually fight. No.
I think that one was nothing to do with County Assembly.
The speaker should also have taken the clue from Honorable Alachi. You know, you remember the issue of Pilipili.
Yes.
So he should also be able to carry some of these things. Anyway, what I'm saying is that...
In 30 seconds, as you take a break, Honorable Sanko.
What I'm saying is that integrity, the issue of Chapter 6 should actually be adhered to, and those who don't go as per Chapter 6 should actually face the law. I think we have a commission that deal with that, and they should actually up their game.
Okay, fantastic. We're going to take a break at this particular point in time. Of course, keep your feedback coming in at K24 TV. We saw what happened in the Kisumu County Assembly right there. How should this be resolved? We're talking about leaders who should be held to a higher standard, but really, are they doing that? Also, very many other stories we're talking about in the newspaper review, and your feedback as well coming up after the break right here. We took a short break, back with plenty more. This is K24 This Morning.